If you have kids, would you teach them chess and would you encourage them to go into a career in chess?
I would teach my kids chess, but I would not encourage them to play professionally. I think becoming one of the best chess players in the world is not easy. There are other areas where you can be worse at something and have an easier life.
After I gained the title, the situation became very different because then I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want any others to take the title away from me.
I never liked losing. I never thought that losing is a natural part of the game.
Frankly, I always thought that I responded pretty poorly to losses.
I was extremely disappointed and I was still reliving all of the mistakes that I made and, just cursing myself for being an idiot. I've played kind of poorly the whole tournament and this time I got soundly punished. I am not enjoying playing chess at all right now. I don't feel any flow at all when I'm playing.
Losses are painful, no matter what, but I'm just wondering, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? When I win, it's good, but it feels kind of normal, and then when I lose, it's just for a moment the world just falls apart.
Confidence, a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities.
I wasn't sure if my preparation was okay or he was going to kill me, but...
I think I will probably focus on chess the next few years. And then I will see what I will do after that.
I think the first time I started to be really confident in chess was when I was 17 years old. Before that, I often had too much respect for my more esteemed colleagues.
I was knocked out of an important tournament by a certain player, and then I beat him in another tournament that wasn't as big, and I was asked if it was good to get revenge, and I said that this is not revenge. For me to actually get revenge, I would have to beat him repeatedly in a very dominating fashion. I was asked once when somebody celebrated sort of in what other people viewed excessively when he beat me. I was asked, was I offended by that? And I was like, no, I'd be much more offended if he didn't celebrate.
You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your instincts and your experience accumulated over many years.
If you're not able to do that, you're not going to go very far. It's better to
trust your gut and be burned sometimes than to always second guess yourself.
Game 8, I was probably ready to take a little bit more risks than I had before, which I guess was insane because I knew that he couldn't beat me unless I beat myself. He wasn't strong enough to outplay me. He knew that this was his one chance. He had to take it. And so he did. Yeah, that's the worst I've ever felt after a chess game. I realized that I'm probably going to lose my title against somebody who's not even close to my level. And I've done it because of my own stupidity, most of all. And that was really, really hard to deal with. That's what happened in 2021 as well. When I won the first game against Nepo, I knew that the match was over. Unless I fuck up royally, then he's not going to be able to beat me.
Playing the first match against Anand, I was really scared looking at the Anand that he sort of used to be. And he was really impressive for the first few games. Then after the fourth game, when I saw a bit of a chink in his armor, that he did something extremely well in that game, but he also seemed quite vulnerable. All of a sudden I realized that I'm not playing against Superman, I'm playing against an amazingly strong player, but who is somewhat past his peak. And that calmed me down.
I think the most nervous I've ever been was Game 10 of the World Championships in 2018. That was just a thrilling game. I basically abandoned the queen side at some point to attack him on the king side, and I knew that if it doesn't work, I'm going to lose. But I had so much adrenaline. Otherwise, I'm often nervous before games, but when I get there, it's all business. And especially when I'm playing well, I'm never afraid of losing when I play, because I trust my instincts, I trust my skills.
Is it more difficult to be a world chess champion than to become a world chess champion?
It's not only about being the champion, it's also about being number one in rankings, winning tournaments and so on. And that is
definitely hard to maintain.
I've always thought in chess that the right balance is somewhere between optimistic and delusional. I can recall like streaks where I just go on winning, and I think I'm like playing amazing. Then I look back and analyze, and it wasn't that great.
So what explains the results then?
Because I put a lot of pressure on my opponents, and my optimism and my confidence makes them less confident. My rating, classical rating, has oscillated between 2880 and 2820 for many years now. But my performance right after a loss is over 2900.
What is difficult in chess is to translate knowledge into skill, right? I definitely know oceans more about chess now than I did 12 years ago, but my rating is lower, right? And I would assume that the quality of my play, like my accuracy and so on, is probably not higher now. Like my best tournaments, my best games are probably better now than ever. But I can already feel that my brain is just much slower than guys like Alireza, Gukesh, Prague, Nodribek. Like they just see things so much more quickly, which makes me just feel like I've certainly peaked, and I wouldn't say comfortable with that, but it's definitely a realization that I've come to.
I was just not in the mood. I didn't want the pressure that was connected with the World Championship, and I was perfectly content at the time to play the tournaments that I did play. Also to be ranked #1 in the world, I was comfortable with the fact that I knew that I was the best, and I didn't need a title to show others. I've had brilliant people talk to me as if I'm the smartest person in the room, and that really makes me uncomfortable because I see myself as an intelligent but not brilliant guy who happened to find the one thing that he can do really, really well.
When people say that I win endgames that are equal, I actually feel myself that I have a slight advantage, although the computer might not necessarily agree. I also think it comes down to fighting spirit. I never stop looking for resources. It's surprising how often something works out. As long as I'm making good moves, I'm not taking any risks, at least the way I feel. I think I should play for a win as long as I can. I think that's one of the things that distinguishes me from many others.
The thing is that chess has always like still been a bit of a hobby for me, that once it starts to feel like work, then it's harder for me.
When I was a kid, like every time I had the chance, like I would go on my computer and play Blitz, and it wasn't to learn, it was like for fun, right? But I ended up learning a lot from them.
I do have those moments where I just take a breath and think about how lucky that I am. There are just moments where I wouldn't say rediscover my love for the game, but where I just think like, I'm obsessed with this game and I'm completely fine with that. Chess player's life is by definition pretty lonely because you have nobody else to blame but yourself when you lose or you don't achieve the results that you want to achieve. All the people you surround yourself with, they can help you a lot. It's only family that only has their own interests at heart. And so for that reason, like my father's like the only one that's been like constantly in the team that he's always been around, and it's for that reason that I know he has my back no matter what. I had a chess coach when I was little. I went to have sessions once a week, which I loved, and then he started giving me homework, and I told him like quickly, like I don't like homework, but I would